Welcome to Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi
guys.
everyone.
Woo!
Today we're going to talk about Victoria's Secret reportedly hiring their first transgender model, the reason why Milo Ventimiglia won't be playing Batman, and a new Twitter trend that has people texting strangers. Plus, comedian Usama Siddiquee joins the table, but first...
It's time for Rosé or Thorn. Just days after he was seen spending the night with Hannah Brown, Bachelorette contestant Tyler C. was reportedly spotted in Brooklyn with Gigi Hadid. The two followed each other on Instagram last month, and that led to them hanging this past week.
Wow, that was a
Wow.
really
Thank you for
passionate
breaking the
read.
news.
Yeah.
I
You know,
mean,
it's complicated.
I didn't watch this past season of The Bachelorette, but I would assume that Gigi Hadid is better than him.
This is especially interesting because we know Hannah ended up letting Jed go, and Tyler was the runner-up. And on the After the Rose, she was like, I would love, you know, I'm a single lady. Tyler, I would love if I went for a drink with you and we hung out. So he was like the runner-up, but everybody sort of felt like they were still gonna end up together. But then he's got like Gigi slipping into his DMs, and it's just like shows the Bachelorette people that you're actually not real celebrities.
Yeah.
Like the moment these people get a chance to really date a famous person, they're gonna do it.
And also, I would say the thing is, though, this would teach you that when you say goodbye to someone, don't expect them to wait around for you.
That's true.
He was
Totally.
the second choice, so in a way, good for him. I'm
Yeah.
glad he's moving on and going on dates. Do I wish it was not? Do I wish it were me?
Yeah. I mean...
Do you wish it was you?
Wait, you
Going
want
out with Gigi Hadid.
Yeah. I was going to say, what?
No, not with this fucker.
Yeah. Well, I would say he can get it. And,
Can you think?
Oh, I think
he can get it.
Beautiful.
He can
He's a
get it.
model. He is a
And
model.
I am very happy for him and Gigi. They are a hot couple. So yeah, but I think
But what does she see in him? Like, I'm so confused on these celebs go for the Bachelor.
well, he's a model.
He's a
a model with like
Other
3
than
million
being a
Instagram
model,
followers.
Gigi's a supermodel.
I know, but he's a good-looking guy. I get it. I mean, I think what Brittany was just saying, though, I think it's what's funny when these people he's now remotely famous, and has a chance to be with a supermodel who's incredibly famous. Sorry, Hannah, love you, love that you had sex at Windmill, but Gigi may win this one, I
Right.
think.
And also listening to him talk about Hannah now, he's like, well, Hannah, we had that close connection. We went through this experience together. I'm so glad that we had that friendship and that connection. And I'm like, oh, you already put her in the friend zone because Gigi's there? Like.
Also, they talk about The Bachelor like they just went and did a tour in Iraq. Like, the experience we went through, like, I mean, come on. It's like you, like, suffer through so much together.
Yeah,
It's like,
I have to say, that is a bit annoying, the way they talk about it.
little bit.
They're like, thank God we're all bonded by this. Come on.
it's like,
I
there's
feel you.
more horrible things happening in the world.
I'm not surprised Gigi likes him though, because they do look kind of related. Like, he reminds me so much of her brother.
Oh.
Like, if her brother was like buffer and older.
You're right. I see that there.
I could see that too. I think they look good together.
Do models only like dating other models because they're
Yes.
like equally as beautiful?
I
do you
think
think?
so.
Hot people love other hot people.
Right.
Yeah.
And the conversation's always like
About hot people.
about being hot.
Hotness.
There's no one's bringing up like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
No.
It's just like let's just keep it basic.
It's literally like,
Instagram.
oh, I like your hair today. I like your skin today. Where'd you get those jeans? Like
Right.
that's, I think, as deep as it goes.
Yeah. You know, I would watch a show, like a full, like hour-long show of like non-hot people, like talking about what they think hot people think. It's just us being like, and I think they're like, hey, want to put our lips together again? Because we're hot, and like, we don't like those people. And then they look at a photo of us.
Yeah.
I don't even think they see us. They probably just look at the photo and see like emptiness.
Well, did you
Like that Black Mirror episode where it gets blurred out, like ugly people just get blurred out, and I'm like, sir, you're gonna get hit by a car, and it's like, blah, 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 and they get hit, but it doesn't, like nothing happens to them because like being hot is just like a superpower.
Oh, yeah.
Right, or Black Lady sketch show.
Yes.
Ashley Nicole Back just did it, where she is a spy and she gets away with it because like, she's
so average
looking face that
That's
no one
funny.
cares. Like, yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, do you remember John Hamm on 30 Rock when
Yes.
he was so beautiful that he would just keep doing stupid shit? He had both of his hands amputated because people just let him do stupid stuff because he's so
He
beautiful.
could order off
Do you
the.
remember every day of my life people choosing my sister over me?
Oh, we think you're beautiful here.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
You're my favorite out of all your siblings.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Well, you guys, Victoria's Secret has reportedly hired their first transgender model. Brazilian model Valentina Sampaio recently posted a photo on Instagram backstage at a pink photo shoot on Long Island, New York.
First of all,
Victoria's
she's
Secret, it's about time, you idiots.
She's stunning.
Stunning.
I looked through so many photos of her. I'm like, she's stunning.
Yeah, she's banging.
Cat.
So, Yeah, so this.
Go.
No, this comes after a couple years ago when the creative director, I forget his exact name, said there will never be a transgender model in the Victoria's Secret fashion show because, quote, it's a fantasy, and thus transgender models can't be there. I never understood his logic, but he said that. So congrats on fixing that mistake finally. Took a year or so, but you know, good for Victoria's Secret, I guess.
Yeah. Do you feel like Victoria's Secret is sort of like falling off a little bit, like losing the influence that they had?
I mean, 1,000%. I feel like I don't know if I've said this before on here, but when I was little and I would see like older women go into Victoria's Secret, I thought Victoria's Secret was like a more like refined lingerie store. And now, ever since I feel like the introduction of pink in the last decade, it's like trash.
Well, they're trying to like freshen up the image, which is the whole rumor that the fashion show may not be happening because I think they're trying to transform or rebrand because the fashion show, only 3 million people watched it last year, which is not great for them. And so maybe they will be trying to fix their image because I don't think anyone regards them in the same esteem that they used to.
Yeah, I think they just have had a few moments where he stepped in it or they stepped on not being inclusive and people are like, well, that's a red flag. And I think we're just at this stage in pop culture where we want inclusivity and we sort of need it. And it's almost like they're too late, you know what I mean? Because I already feel like their influence has waned.
Yeah.
And so they're doing this now and that could be really good, but it's almost like I wish it would have been a more organic thing and they wouldn't have been so hateful towards it in the beginning.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that them taking away the fashion show would be a way for them to fix their brand. To me, the fashion show is kind of the only thing that makes news for them and the only thing that makes them seem like still relevant and like that's what links them to like high fashion models. So it's like if they don't have that, then what do they have?
Then they're just a store in the mall.
Yeah, they're just like a mall store that you can get like 6 panties for $3 that like fall apart and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, if you don't have Ariana Grande ducking under a wing, what do you have anymore, Victoria's Secret?
Yeah, but it's also like this whole idea of just like fashion shows where we just see the same type of woman walking around in lingerie. It's just like, that's also stale.
That's what I mean. I just feel like
that's not all runways right now, though. Like, there's lots of people on runways that are like doing cool shit that probably aren't making as big a news as this trash, but like honestly, like there are inclusive runways, so they don't have to be the same type of woman. They have the power and the possibility and the opportunity to make really cool, edgy choices. They're just choosing not to because they're assholes.
I do. I think hiring this model could be a part of a huge rebrand for them that they need because to me they're just really out of touch and they have been for a long time. I stopped shopping there a long time ago just because of I don't know, all the body image things that I felt like they were putting on people and women specifically, like it just felt like a lot of pressure.
Well, I was just reading for this story. I did not know that it started in the 70s from this couple in San Francisco as a store that would make men comfortable with buying their wives lingerie. If that just doesn't sum up Victoria's Secret, to make men comfortable, men's views. I mean, that kind of sums it up from the get-go with the Victoria's Secret. So, but I'm happy for this model. It's a big deal, especially I think probably for as a trans woman to be accepted and something, you know, no matter what we want to say Victoria's Secret, they have determined a big of our beauty standards and whether ridiculous or not, they have. And it was Heidi Klum and Gigi and all these, Kendall. So it's really cool for this model to be a part of it. Giselle, of course.
Well, hopefully they just keep moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Moving on, guys, Milo Ventimiglia's dreams of playing a superhero are crushed, but he promises he's okay. This Is Us star put his name in the running to play the new Batman for the upcoming film, but was told by Warner Brothers that he was too old for the role.
I had no idea he was that old.
Was he like early 40s?
I thought he was in his 30s.
Oh, really?
I've thought that for like the past 20 years. You know? Like, he just doesn't look that old to me. And like, I remember when Ben Affleck was Batman, Ben Affleck looked like he was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's true. Ben Affleck was a real, like, not a good Batman.
Right? Oh my God.
He looked just tired.
Yeah.
I didn't even see those movies.
Look
the
at
Batman
him. He
versus
looks
Superman.
like
Look how tired he looks.
on Prozac and running on black coffee.
Well, that's probably what was that.
I mean,
that
he
is
really
very
was
accurate for Batman, though. Batman is a troubled person.
What's the thing? Like Christian Bale was the perfect Batman because he had that like the dark demeanor and could be Bruce Wayne yet also Batman and he has that perfect combination. He's also a very good actor. Robert Pattinson will make a good Batman too. So Milo, I mean, I guess he could have. I mean, this is coming from a guy who's probably around his height. I think. And I'm not a heightist. I'm just saying he's a little bit short to play Batman. Isn't Batman a very tall man, right? Even though I'm all for short superheroes.
Short kings can save us.
Yeah, short people. Hey, Short people can change the world.
Maybe
but
that's what we need. We need a short superhero out there, representation. Not Bagel Boss guy though, please.
The next Batman.
Don't do that.
Like Jabuki.
I feel like they're gonna do that. They're gonna be like, oh, let's get Bagel Boss guy to be Batman, and we'll be like, we didn't ask for this.
We didn't ask for
It's
this.
like, great. Now we have to do a mass suicide because you guys are misbehaving again.
How old was Michael Keaton? He's still like my favorite Batman.
That was a great Batman.
But he just always seemed like a dad Batman to me, even back
Well, that's the
then.
thing. Batman is supposed to be older, so I think maybe they're just looking for the long game. They don't want someone already in their 40s, because Michael Keaton was in his late 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Milo said. He said that they told him that they wanted someone that they can keep around for a while. So I guess, like, you know, they think he's gonna age like milk suddenly. Like, I think he looks great. I think he's aged really well. I think he'll be 50 and still look like a 33-year-old.
I agree.
And he takes care of himself, so that body's not changing.
Yeah.
Body's
And we
not
keep
changing.
Batman keeps getting reinvented and remade, and like
Why?
I mean,
Like all superheroes.
like also it won't stop. But I'm glad like we've talked about Disney doing more like these, like the Eternals and other things that we've never seen before, because I've seen so many Batman movies. Like, God love the Michelle Pfeiffer one. She's incredible.
yeah.
Danny DeVito's the Penguin.
Michael Keaton was Batman in that one.
And Michael Keaton was Batman.
That to me was like, I could have been done with
God, I
Batman
don't
after
know
that. It
this.
was perfect.
That is the best
Yeah.
one. Michelle Pfeiffer
don't
is
remember it.
the greatest Catwoman
Drinking
ever.
the milk?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know.
And
that.
then
that, like, tight,
Danny
like,
DeVito when
No,
he's
I know that.
Okay.
I love it.
and when he, remember when he, oh my God, when he dies,
The Penguin?
I feel like Shannon would be such a Penguin loyalist. When he's running for mayor, Shannon would be like, I'm voting for the Penguin.
Like, yeah,
he
he
had
died
some
and
really
exploding in
sound
the
I'm sorry,
water.
was he playing a penguin?
The villain, the
The
Penguin.
Penguin.
Danny
Yeah.
DeVito played a penguin?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Not an animal.
no, yeah, it's the name of the villain. Like he
Yeah.
has penguin-like features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lives like in a
Yeah.
cave with penguins.
Yeah.
Remember when Jim Carrey played the Riddler?
Yeah.
That was also a really good villain.
And the worst one ever with Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy and
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as
Oh
Mr.
no!
Freeze.
Yeah,
And they had
that's-
nipples. George Clooney, they had nipples in their bat suits.
Oh, George
Yeah.
Clooney. See, that was an old ass Batman.
Yeah.
George Clooney's been gray since he was like 25, so he looked older.
Yeah, but he's George
Damn.
Clooney.
I am excited though for Batwoman.
Yes.
Have you guys seen the new Batwoman that's coming out with Ruby Rose?
Yeah.
And it's on the CW, and she'll be the first LGBTQ superhero to headline a show. That's the sort of like revamp I'm excited for. Like, Batman has been done a billion times. Batwoman, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like that too, but also like, that's kind of like the conversation I was hearing about how 007 could be a woman.
Yeah.
And a part of me I still want there to be James Bond.
But she's not James Bond. 007
I know,
is
no,
like
I know, yeah,
just
yeah.
a super spy.
Oh, people were freaking out
Yeah.
about that. Some Fox News, I don't know, it's Ben
What were they
Shapiro or
saying?
someone.
What were they saying?
They're like, James Bond's all about man wish fulfillment, about watching a man get with a lot of women, and that's what James Bond's about. And you're taking that away from men everywhere. It's literally bonkers.
It's bonkers, and it's also
insane.
wrong.
It's, oh my God, people are
love it.
insane. It's so incredible.
Yeah, I love it, but I also feel like every time we do that and reboot a movie that used to be a man and turn into a woman, then we get a really negative news cycle.
Yeah, for
oh,
sure.
crazy.
All I want to do is ting, ting, ting. Like, oh no!
Yeah, male fragility is plaguing
Yeah.
this nation.
It's so scary. Did you guys see that article that says that like a lot of men don't like green life because it's like their toxic masculinity thinks like if they use like a tote bag instead of like a plastic bag that they're like homosexual.
Yeah. Saving the environment is just too gay
Yeah.
for men.
Isn't that
Which is
or toxic
insane.
males, not
Yeah,
all men.
toxic.
Not all men.
Sorry.
Not all men.
Yeah.
You're right.
But so many of them.
So many, I know.
Excuse me. I'm gonna be okay. Just get through this. We're gonna power through the next story. The text door neighbor trend, or as some call it, the phone number neighbor, has returned to popularity again. Social media users are texting phone numbers with only one digit difference from their own, and their responses include everything ranging from new friends to threatening messages. Because this is America.
I guess we're really bored.
Did anybody
Yeah.
try this?
No, I didn't do it.
I didn't
don't
try
want
it.
someone to have my
I don't have my number because
Well, they already have your number. They just either
just-
subtract or add one to it.
But I feel like once you connect with someone, watch them be some hacker, troll, something, white supremacist who finds me and wants to kill me.
Well, look at the message, the one that we pulled up where it was like, "Hi, number neighbor," and it was like, "I'm gonna murder your family."
And also suck my cock, I believe
Yeah,
you also
well,
said
yeah.
as well, because it would not be appropriate to not sexually try to threaten someone as
Yeah.
well.
It's just really disturbing. I don't like need any new friends or anything.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some stories, like some funny ones, people interacting, like, quote, healing racial divides or whatever. Or I saw one that was funny. That was a guy like, what the fuck, dude? I was on, what, like, it's been 2 days, you haven't texted me, you're my number neighbor. Like, people have been funny about it, so it's clever.
I saw one person who found a lawyer, and she's like, my number neighbor's a lawyer, I'm hooked up. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that person's like, God damn it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm not
As if you would then be loyal to your number neighbor.
Right.
Like introducing them, like, listen, it's my number neighbor. Take care of them.
Yeah. People aren't even loyal to like their real life like neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
that's what's funny about that
neighbors
too.
are violent.
I wonder how many people have actually said hi to their neighbors, like their actual neighbors.
Right.
Like they walk right by them with their
Do
headphones
people
in or
do
whatever.
that anymore?
I do that
yeah.
so much in my neighborhood and in my building, and I'll be like, "Hey, good morning," and people will be like, "Dun dun dun dun, dun 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 dun," and I'm like, "I have anxiety too. Let's take a beat and just say it back. Good morning."
Was that I Got 5 on It from us?
Yeah. I got 5 on it, and they're like, "She said hi to me," and I'm like, "Just go like this. Like do anything. Just
do
be
a
like,
My doorman doesn't even say hi to me sometimes.
Really?
I'm like, morning. He's like,
Wow.
man, that's
Shade.
tough."
yeah.
I talk to all my neighbors. But I live in Harlem, and it's a neighborhood. And like Eddie, who lives on my street, has lived there his entire life.
Eddie.
And he walks his dog, Mikey, and I see him every evening, and he always says he's gonna make me food, and he never does.
Eddie's thing.
But that's what he said. That's what Eddie does.
What does he say? He's gonna make you
He's gonna make me food. Oh, I made some tuna casserole the other day. It's good. I have to invite you up. What do you like? You like pasta? And I'm like, yeah, Eddie, I've told you this. And he just like never makes me.
Well, would you actually go to his apartment?
No, absolutely not. No. But
That's
I
what
would.
neighbors are for.
I would love if he like brought. I would like take some food that he gave me.
Oh.
I had a neighbor in LA who loved cats. Shannon, you would have loved her. She actually wore contacts to make her eyes look more like cats.
Oh my God, I love
and
that.
she would always remember where we left off in the last conversation we
wow.
had. So I imagine
that's
I was
nice.
one of the few people she talked to, and she was very nice. But she would always be like, "I got that watch," and I was like, "What? I got the watch." You know, I was like, "Okay."
I like
She'd tell me
that. I've never heard you do that voice.
that's what she sounded like. And she's
a
like,
good
"Your hair looks nice." It's like you got a haircut. And I was
Oh,
like,
now it's the
now.
Mickey
Now
Mouse.
it's Mickey Mouse.
I lost it.
And
But,
now it's sexual again for Lucas. He's like, "Oh, do you want me to come on your stomach?" You're like, "No, no,
Shannon,
no, no."
that's my sexy voice.
I know it is. Whenever I think of Mickey Mouse, I'm like, somewhere Lucas is having sex.
You should have seen me at Fire Island last weekend. Hey guys, it's me.
Oh my God. Well, you guys, now it's time for today's guest. Usama Siddiquee is a Bengali American stand-up comedian and actor based in New York City, and today he's here to talk about Mango Bay, his podcast with Pranav Bihari, where they go off the rails about issues affecting the South Asian diaspora and more. Take a look.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh shit.
Salman, Shah Rukh, and Amar Khan.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
your time.
No, Hassan, it's all good. We're not pushing.
FMK. Damn. Okay. You gotta marry Shah Rukh because he's a romantic.
Done.
Boom.
Done.
You gotta fuck Amr just off the sheer talent.
Okay.
Off that raw dungo
Right.
talent.
Done.
His commitment to the
Listen,
roles.
man, yeah.
I love how he started fat and then got buff.
Dude, yeah.
He goes, let's start the game down 15 just
buffing,
cause. So you gotta just fuck that raw,
Yep.
you know,
And you got to kill someone.
energy, and you gotta kill someone.
Because that'd be a good thing for all of us.
Yeah, you gotta kill someone. Yeah.
Any reason?
I mean, because he's ran someone over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes!
Thank you. Thank you.
Nobody talks about
Thank
it.
I
you.
mean,
Nobody talks
talks
about
it.
that.
He's the Caitlyn Jenner of brown
And I'm
people.
so good on stage.
Everyone, please give a warm Bill Brunch welcome to Usama Siddiquee. Yeah.
What's up?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Oh my God.
So tell us about the podcast and how it got started.
It's Mango Bay. It's a podcast about South Asian issues, but it's not in the way that people have seen before. It's kind of, I feel like most Indians in the media right now are portrayed as kind of like these, like virgins, you know, and like sort of these, just like not sexual beings. They don't talk about anything that's real to them. So this is like a way to undo that repression a little bit and just kind of like go into like the South Asian diasporic, like first generation immigrant issues, but in a way that's like rambunctious and like doesn't like not talk about fucking and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
think that's a good
Can I say it?
takeaway.
Can I say?
Yeah, say
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay. Fucking.
What is Mango Bay?
Mango Bay. So we were on shrooms once when me and my co-host, and while we were on shrooms, we were professing our love for each other. This is my co-host Pranav, and during that experience, we were kind of like hugging and eating like dried mangoes from the table, and I was like, "You're my bae," and he was like, "You're my mango bae."
Wow.
So really, Mango Bay is not, it's our love for each other.
Yeah.
He's my best friend.
I love that.
Yeah.
And tell me, like, each episode, is it a different topic? How do you prepare when you have some great guests on?
Yeah, it's just like we try to go to their core, whoever they are, you know, as people. We had Hassan Minaj, and we just wanted to talk about
It's amazing.
his experience, right?
Yeah.
So he brought us into his studio, and we talked about his experience and like try to get to the real part, not like that sort of, like that, you know, that like the film that
Superficial.
the superficial element that I think we've all been doing. I think 'Cause I think in Indians and Desis in general, you're kind of like at the behest of your parents, and even even when you start doing an artistic profession, like say you don't do med school or law, you go into comedy or art, whatever. Even the first stages, they'll be like, "How dare you?" Right? Then they'll be like, "Okay, we accept this, but this is how you're gonna do it."
Right.
So like, I left you so I could do what you want me to do, and then they become brown about their own. So they find the way to become Indian again.
Right.
You know?
So they helicopter over your
They
family.
find yes.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no way to get around it. So we're trying to kind of subvert that idea and be like, just talk about really what you're thinking about, because none of us do, especially on screen.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the idea.
Do you think South Asian representation has gotten better in recent years at all? Is it improving?
I think it's not as good as it could be.
Right,
For
of
sure.
course.
Asians got a big win with Crazy Rich Asians.
Wow.
That was big.
One big movie.
That was big.
Yeah.
Only us two like it.
We're the only two.
Yeah, I never really enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it that much. Crazy bad movie.
Yeah.
No, it's coming. So
Yeah.
I think East Asians are getting a big push right now.
Yeah.
I think we're coming behind. So eventually,
Right.
there's still a void. There's still no Asian sex symbol.
Yeah.
Stephen Yoon, the closest thing, right?
Yeah.
There's no Indian sex symbol right now, in America anyway. So it's one of those things where it's like, we have to push it. But I sometimes I tutor kids, and I tutored this like 7th grader kind of girl who's like a popular chick. And she was pumped about Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
Back in my day, the popular white girls were never going for the minority entertainment. But it's changed so much now that they're like Asians are the hot people
Right.
to young kids.
Right.
So it's changing.
And figures like Hassan Minaj, who has like a Netflix show, and he's talking about really big issues. I mean, that I think technically you consider it a late night show, so that's a big deal, right?
Yeah. It's coming. So Hassan is the
Yeah.
like the harbinger of a lot of this.
Right.
And I think like it's just coming, and I'm just waiting for Hassan to book me on something. Let's go. I'm here. Which camera do I look at? Please.
Yeah. And on the podcast, you guys cover a variety of issues from like sex to dating, but also kind of really important ones, really particular immigration.
Yeah.
I think right now that is probably the most hot topic issue, besides gun violence at this moment. What's it like covering those issues on your podcast, and do you find it really important for you to do that?
So it's like our podcast. It has that mix. It's like it's kind of like both of us, like me and Pranav. We're not.
Right.
It's like a mix of woke and like the ribald. It's
Right.
It's like we'll say come and then we'll talk about intersectionality. It's kind of in the same vein, and it's like I guess we try to have fun with it. I don't know. It's just like I think these issues are so intense that if you're gonna have fun with it, also bring in the knowledge.
Right.
Don't just be kind of like a fool about it.
Yeah.
So whenever we try to go crazy on the topic, if you can just like sit back, you realize we're being crazy, but we're also saying some actual points.
Right.
But isn't that authentic? Isn't that how we talk to our friends?
That's how we do it,
Like,
right?
that's
Yeah,
the reality.
yeah.
There's always that mix of like serious and humor. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people who try to like downplay that, and like a lot of the activism now, that's kind of like that's the woke activism.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the activism and none of the love for the actual
Right.
people that you're activizing for. Or what is it, activating?
I don't know. I bought that word though. I was like, yeah.
You say it confident.
Cool.
But that's what it is. I think we lose a lot of the love when you get so hopped up on the ideas of like, gotta be
Right.
an activist, this is my identity, this is who I am. If I'm not this, then what am I? As opposed to, these people actually need our help.
Yes.
What could I do with them?
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bust through that kind of surface level just talk of like, oh, what's happening, and like actually get to the human element And the best way to do that is be kind of wild.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And you were one of the new faces for Just for Laughs in
Yeah.
2018,
Yeah.
and then shortly after that,
Oh, yeah.
woo! Clap it up!
Yay.
Nobody knows what that is.
Crazy Reasons too?
We just filled our audience with a bunch of stand-up comedians who haven't made any accomplishments yet, so they're happy for you, but they're also really sad for themselves.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, you got passed at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you to achieve those 2 goals, those 2 milestones?
Ali's also there, by the way.
Once
Yeah.
in a while.
Yeah, we all out here. We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah, I think JFL was on the map, right? It was like, I'm here now. A lot of the industry knows who you are after you do JFL. And then Cellar is kind of the thing that, it's like beating New York. As if you're like, if comedy's a video game, then Cellar is the boss. And if you win that, you've done New York.
Right.
So it's one of those things. But here's the thing: once you get Cellar, because like as New York comedians, your whole life is get to Cellar. That's the whole currency, right? Like get to Cellar. But once you get there, you realize that it was just one thing, and you still have to figure out how to get fans, how to grow as a comedian, how to actually make content. Like it's one of those things where like what you think is the end is actually just the beginning of Act 2. So I'm still in that space where I'm trying to figure out how to like get my shit to the people, you know?
Yeah. And when you do you ever compare stand-up to doing a podcast? And what would you say is like your favorite part of each compared to the other?
Okay. Podcasting, you don't have to make someone laugh every 13 seconds, right? Comedy is like you have to like elicit a primal reaction every 13 seconds. No other art form has that requirement, right?
Man.
Literally every 13 seconds, a deep biological experience has to happen for it to be considered good, right? That's insane. Podcasting does not have that. Podcasting is just like you can, as long as you're being interesting, it still works.
Yeah.
Whereas comedy, being interesting, nobody.
But I see you post clips from your podcast on Instagram. I'll watch some video clips. You have super high energy,
Yeah.
always on stage,
Yeah.
and it seems on the podcast as well from what I've listened. I have really low energy in general, but I think
It's like a buddy cop
I'm
movie.
always,
Allie, let's go!
yeah, wait a minute. I'm always impressed by your energy. Recently, we were performing at Fairfield Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah.
Usama was the headliner, and I was featuring. My energy was really low. This is just how I am. Usama gets up, destroys the room. His energy's so high. I'm leaving with my parents. My parents are like, Allie, you should take an acting class. I'm like, that's just not my style. But that's something you're so good at. How the fuck do you stay on when you're in a shit mood?
Right. Well, because I'm not always in the mood to do comedy, right? This life happens, right? But I think so before I do comedy, right? Like if we're doing a show right now, right? It's like, it's a mental thing, right? So like you have to bring yourself there. That's your job, right? To be funny. Like you don't want to be funny, fuck you. You got to be funny.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I guess I gotta like, there's like visualization. There's repurposing your brain. Say like, okay, they're here for me. So bring yourself back to that love mindset. Like they might be shitty, but they're here for comedy. So let's explore together. So if like repurposing what you say to your own brain, I think is the most important thing. So like if you're sad, be like, what? They're here for the show. I'm here for them. Let's connect.
Yeah.
And that want to connect always puts you back in that space of like being your most
That was
natural
very well said.
Yeah.
You're dropping some comedy. Like,
Yeah, sure.
Knowledge.
Is anyone
Yeah.
a comic here?
You're
So, yeah.
kidding these guys?
Lost on everybody.
Guy asleep over there? He's a huge comedian.
He's asleep. Wake up, you're being paid. Wake up!
He's a huge stuff.
Wake up!
Just for laughs.
Why are you wearing a hoodie in the summer? What's going on?
It's not that cold.
Oh, he's on his phone too.
On that note, have you gotten into acting, or is that something that you want to grow in that space?
Yeah, acting is big. It's one of those things where it's like, as a comic, you just gotta diversify. The world of comedy isn't like you can just be a comic and just make money out there anymore. So if you're not diversifying, you're doing a disservice to yourself. So I'm trying to get in. It's tough. It's the same kind of game.
Yeah.
But I would hate to be an actor only.
Oh, man.
That you don't have any feedback. Like your feedback is like 2 years later. Feedback in comedy is you do a joke and then boom.
Right.
After you get that level of quick feedback, you can't do anything else.
Yeah,
So
you're
why
right.
did that pilot not go, 2 years ago,
yeah,
the
yeah.
producer,
Right.
we thought you were a little dry.
Right. You gotta meet the guy in a bar
Yeah.
in 2030.
Oh, I remember you, yeah.
You were the skinny guy who was too skinny for the role.
Right, yeah.
That was the only reason why we didn't cast.
Yeah.
Wait, and speaking of diversified, you also beatbox?
Yeah.
So can you? What is that?
Put him on the spot.
I'll do it with you.
Well, can you freestyle? You know?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, Brittany can.
Yeah, I can.
Can you really?
No.
Okay.
Can anyone freestyle?
I can try, but I heard you. I just love how like many things you do.
He's
Yeah,
a
sure,
good beatboxer.
sure, okay.
Come on, do something.
Okay.
Just drop a little beat.
Okay, sure. Okay. God. If it'll wake that guy up, sure.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I'll start it for you.
I wish
Sure.
the guy who was sleeping could freestyle.
All right, sure.
Hey.
Running down.
Hey.
Okay, never mind.
I was just having fun today. I was gonna jump
Thank you
in.
so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Am I getting up? Am I-
No. Everyone, make sure to check out Mango Bay, available on the Apple Podcast app and other podcasting platforms. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Usama Siddiquee.